RV produce.
Yeah.
Who's on that beat? Uh, uh, it's on point. It's on point. On point.
All right. All right. All right. Welcome back for another one.
What up, though? It's cracking, fam.
How we feeling tonight?
We is feeling.
Yes, yes.
Good, good, good. Good to
That was a
be
dope.
here.
That was a dope track.
I appreciate
Yeah,
that. Thank you.
You got to send me the link. Come on, man. You hold now.
right.
That is in the vault. That is not for public consumption.
Although the
I,
public is consuming it
I
right
will
now.
I was,
I will send you the link.
I was going to say, I'm not the public. I'm
I
Rashay.
Right?
will
Like,
I
what,
will
what we
send
talking
you the
about?
link. Yes,
Well,
yes,
thank
yes,
you.
yes.
Thank you, fam. Surely appreciate that.
I will send the link in the chat so that you guys can enjoy that. Actually, there's also a Telegram channel with a bunch of my music in it as well.
Is it?
I'll link that in the Telegram as well.
Please
Um,
do.
yes, of course, of course. So we are back for another round of On Point Talk Show. Myself, Ivy Produce, Miss Rashanis, and Mr. Symbolic 360. What's up?
What? Wait, is G joining us?
Oh man, my bad. I just saw him, and we got Black Simon, Mr. G, here. Well, in the Zoom, but maybe not here in the room, if you know what I mean.
Oh, you
Yeah, yeah,
gotta
yeah, yeah,
accept
yeah.
him?
Okay.
Is he? Oh, I thought he was in the Zoom.
In the
What?
Zoom, but maybe not in the room. Uh,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Um, but
Not that I
yeah,
like that he's not in, but yeah, I
I know,
like
I
that.
was gonna say I like
yeah.
it better
It
if
was
I could
bars.
see
It was
your
bars. Yeah, yeah,
beautiful
yeah. Yeah.
black face, but
I
you
know,
know.
right?
So I want to actually jump on and see what the Twitch is looking like. So we are live on Twitch. This is On Point Talk Show, and we got a lineup of things we want to discuss. We get into the tech, we get into the culture, art. We do it all with soul. So yeah, let's do it.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know if these are in particular order or not, but I think we can go ahead and open up with the Lee Scratch Perry because that's one of our kind of one of our leftover topics. But it's something that we definitely wanted to discuss. So somebody, if you don't mind talking about that for a quick second while I grab the link and prepare the video.
Please, I gotta see
Okay.
it. I want to see it.
So this is one of those running around on the internet things where or social media, IG, finding stuff in the AI age specifically. Um, so I didn't really know what it was. I saw this old time reggae man, and it did have an AI feel to it. It had a lot of soul, I would say, rhythm and so forth. And there are a couple things to it. Is Lee Scratch Perry being I didn't even really recognize the face because I mean, I just don't I'm not in it like that, even though I was Jamaican born. I don't know all of the Jamaicans. But I know the name and I'm like, this is a foundational person. And he did this really soul dub kind of thing. And I thought it looked really nice. And then I checked down in the IG a little bit and I saw he had something like Truth Tuesdays or something like that.
Transparency Tuesdays.
Oh, there you go. And he was saying about how some people love it, some people hate it. I go jump online as well. 'Cause is Lee Scratch Perry is he still alive? So surely he is not. So this is something that someone has done in terms of taking creative liberty. to bring someone back to life to do an extra performance or however you might look at it. So I thought that's why it would be something interesting for us to talk about, because I don't know if there's consent, but to look at whether there was consent, there's not consent, whether it's just an artist doing their thing using the tools we have in this era, in this day. And so I'd love to look at that video. We could take a chat, and then if we should have the second one too. Oh, you want to play that first?
Nah, so I was actually I'm back, I'm actually bringing it up right now. So this is the first one.
Part 2. Welcome.
All right, so that's the video, one of the videos he's made. He's made a couple of them. And so this is one of his Transparency Tuesday videos, and so where he discusses the mixed sentiment that he gets from the videos that he creates, and he discusses it.
And continue to tap in with y'all.
It's kind of tricky. I got quick.
Hey, what up, y'all? So I wanted to be consistent and continue to tap in with y'all for these Transparent Tuesdays, because you know me, I reserve the right to ninja. I be in the shadows quite comfortably, and but yeah, I've been called to speak more. So yeah, I wanted to use this Lee Scratch Perry video as a catalyst for this conversation, because the comments have been pretty interesting with the love and the hate in balance, and as it should be, because we got to remember with Scratch, what did he call himself? He called himself the upsetter. So if I'm carrying that torch and I'm celebrating him, I'm going to get mixed reviews, and I'm going to upset a few people. I might rub you the wrong way, but just be happy that you're getting rubbed, whether you rub the wrong way or the right way. We should all be happy that we're getting rubbed at the end of the day. But yeah, Scratch, the upsetter, the one that brought technology to roots music and to music as we know it, and the godfather of using the studio as an instrument, and using effects, as a way to color sound and to express, that upset a lot of people, so we have to remember at that time, that was the technology, of that day and age, and he used it in a way that it wasn't intended or designed to be used. So in a similar vein, that's what I'm doing with the technology, be it a modular synth. I don't use those the way they're intended to be used. I don't use the sampler, the way that it was intended to be used, and the same for AI. These are all just tools in the toolbox, and I'll use them to inspire and to upset. I have no problem with both. I'm here to master the art of balance, so it's all good. Thank you for assisting me in being a better me, so yeah, just back to technology and the tools in our toolbox. You'll never hear someone that builds a house say, look at the house that my toolbox built. It's about the architect, it's about the planning, it's about the blueprint, it's about the intention behind what you do. And that's what you put into the tool. So those that have, a negative view or opinion on using technology in the arts, it's just a primitive way of thinking. We had people that thought the same way with the camera. It's going to steal your soul on the spiritual side. And then on the artistic side, it's like, it's going to put painters out of business. It didn't do that. You know, the same way people were saying that email was going to put the post office out of business. It didn't do that either. You know, the .com era didn't kill the retail business. And same vein, you know, CGI didn't kill traditional animation, and AI is not going to kill CGI, traditional animation, or film. It's just going to be another medium. It's the medium of now, you know, so we're using that medium of right now in this present time, you know. So, you know, the same way our culture turned the turntable into an instrument, turned the sampler, that was a drum machine, you know, that was supposed to replace a drummer. We turned that into a production center. There's some of us that are using AI in the same way, you know, so just give it a little time and you'll see the ones that use the tools to innovate. You'll see the ones that use the tools the way they're intended to be used. You know, I tend to be the one that likes to be on the side of innovation. You can check my receipts. Peace.
All right. I want to know what y'all think about that. There's a lot, I think there's a lot in that.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with it. I couldn't agree with him more. I especially loved him when he gave the examples of like, oh, the camera's gonna steal your soul. Like people actually thought that. People actually thought the cameras were gonna steal your soul. I mean, maybe they do, right? I don't know, but I mean, you can take it even further. Like, at one point we used to do horse-drawn carriage, and now that people ride in cars, people ride in the airplanes. There's a million people in the air at one time. 100 years ago, there were four people maybe in the air at one time. Right now, there's a million people at even any given moment that's flying in the air across an ocean or whatever, right? Like that's insane. But and you know these things come about because people get new tools. They get tools that make the job easier, like to be able to make something out of steel instead of out of wood. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all about the different tools that you have. And so like with the tools that we have today, we're able to go out and create much more things than we were able to before we had these tools. And so for me, it's spot on. I'm 100% in agreement with them. Like people gonna love it, people gonna hate it. It is what it is. You can't please everybody.
I mean,
Shannon?
I think I have a third on pretty much everything. This is piggybacking off the conversation we had last week about creative intention, because that, of course, produces a result. Brother is dope. I mean, his prior work was dope. And for him to take an icon who's no longer living, I mean, let's just think about the prompting that went into that, right? That in and of itself is an art.
Exactly.
So, you know, so when we start to talk about the layers and whether it's creativity, I think there is something to be said about the toolbox and knowing that this is a tool that you can use to manipulate media. Same thing, some of the stuff we're going to talk about today, but I think it's dope. And I have to admit that I didn't know who the elder was before this conversation. So bad. But
It's not bad. You can't know everything in this age, but go on.
no, seriously, because look, I was actually I was going to tease you because you was like, and I'm Jamaican. I don't know every Jamaican. I'm like, yeah, you're expected to know every Jamaican. So
Oh, well, that
I
event,
was
in
too.
that
Like, why you
case,
don't know every Jamaican, bro?
you're
Like,
supposed
come
to know
on.
every Jamaican when you Jamaican. That's how they
I'm
do us.
telling
Like
you.
we know all black folks. Like you
Yeah.
know.
If you knew what
Anywho,
some of our dads were up to, you wouldn't say that.
oh, trust me,
Oh.
trust me. My baby did. Yeah, I get it. Anywho,
All right, let me chime in because y'all are being
please do.
all nice, all the nah. Okay,
Come on,
put it
Mr.
this way. Listen,
Anti-technology,
the thing.
anti-AI.
Hey, I found it. I was like, this is dope, but I definitely had factor. So there, I think it is. It's really interesting because you can't really expect that the family necessarily would say the right thing in terms of this is dope. I understand the nuances and the technology. So that but still there is something around um consent and someone's image. So I don't know this what the case is with this one, and I don't even know where I stand on it because I can imagine a situation where a family's like, nah, I want money. And meanwhile, it's a little bit more nuanced in terms of even, for example, yeah, this could be something dope, let it run. And it would be for the greater, let's say. So that I just want to say that there's something about that, and I don't know the situation with this one, but there was another one which is simply that we're treating the technology like it's just another technology when it actually envelops all of the internet under conditions where they uh they do it dubiously, let's say. So they're saying, here's a social media account. They're gonna suck all of that and then start to close the access that you may have. And so there's a lot behind the technology that it's not the same as a telephone or a horse. So I just want to say that. So as far as the production, I actually, as I've said for months since the beginning, and even as artists and new and people who are checking the tech, usually newer artists would say, this is crazy, Symbolic. This is crazy, Kwame, that a certain amount of what profits come from these tools need to go back to society, not to the companies that own rights to music. I'm not even talking about that because they use the same mechanism they want to put in place here is the one that they were making money, but many artists were being ripped off in the past.
Mhm.
So all of that is kind of it muddies the waters for me as much as I will land on. It is super dope. It's playful. I love that. It has the vibe of the original things. Like that's the vibe of it. So I wouldn't try to say no. I'm from the sampling, from digging through crates generation of hip hop. I was amazed to find out, and I'll close it because we have a five minute rule. I don't want to break our 5 minute rule. You got to pass the vibes. I know that. So I'll close with this. In the sampling era, people were making mixtapes, for example, sampling from music that most young youths didn't even know, and then making something pop again. Now, when someone came and said, you need to pay me, I kind of get that. Something blows up, I get that. But they crushed it down to a point where most people are using a platform tool and making music, and then they're just holding what we call it the culture sometimes and all that. I think that's a bigger discussion. I guess it's a discussion we're partially in, but it's not the culture, it's business controlling. So as much as I'm just weary of this device that allows people to type something in and reproduce and take the image of. So there's a woman dancing. That means that this is a puppeteered image of a woman dancing. It's not a woman, it's the likeness of a woman. It gets deep there. Or a black face. Someone can now type up, I want a black person doing this stuff with that vibe from all of that is the place where I would just put up some red flags and not just say it's dope, forget about it.
True.
I mean, I think this is like the perfect segue. G, what you got? You got something?
I actually have to step away for a second. I'm gonna still be in the like the chat and everything. I'm just
Can
not
you
gonna be on camera.
can you do me a favor and use that be right back? I want to see what that looks like.
Use will be
You
right
see
back.
it? It's in the React. If you go to React
Here we go.
and says be right back, what does that look like to us? Ah, okay. Nice.
Are you in
All right.
is that in Zoom or is that in
Yeah, it's in Zoom.
oh,
Under your
okay.
reactions, I've not seen it. I just happened to, yeah, I was gonna do some emoji stuff and I noticed the emojis were missing.
Yeah, I did last time. I saw you have to click a button to get emojis and then get in. I think that's an amazing, it's a weird thing where it's right in your face, like, no, you
You
were
guys hear
never
me?
able to. There he is. What up, G?
Yeah, yeah.
Black
What,
Simon.
what's up? What I was gonna say, I didn't get to see the video because I'm trying to get the audio, blah blah blah, tech stuff working.
I know. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to say, yeah, I think you would love that vibe, but check it after. I think you would love it.
I think the internet is now being flooded with artificial representation of Black people Asian people, white people, everybody. Like we're now in this.
You cut out. Or is it me cutting out?
No, I think that's, oh no.
Black Simon, hit us back up.
Really?
Well, there you are.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't know why it's going out. So I'm gonna probably stay muted because I don't want to suck up the flow. Sorry.
No, you're good. Just keep going.
What I was gonna say is it's all over the internet right now. All of it's all over. Impersonations of individuals, and in their terms of representation. So I think connecting with communities is going to actually be like a stronger thing. I think we're going to go through a real rough patch of you're going to find out that something you really, really liked, even though it sounds and feels authentic, you're going to find out that it is inauthentic. That's the time period I see kind of going forward. Because there was this song, I don't know if everyone knows about it, that was on Spotify by this band, and it turns out the band was AI, and it was getting 500,000 streams a day.
Okay. Again,
And
perfect segue. We about to talk. No, go, please finish, bro. Please finish. Please finish. I didn't mean to cut you out, but we need to talk about that. Everybody's an artist on this call, and it's real. Here's the thing. Here's what we did. Fortunate or unfortunate. When Sister was dancing and she had on that caftan, it was beautiful. Like her thighs look like my thighs. So we have given, in terms of imagery and media, all of it. It's why, videos with, your face are going to be more pronounced and boosted, right? Because of this likeness conversation that we're having. So I'm with you, bruh, and on both sides. Again, I'm on both sides. While I understand that it's a tool, a mechanism to sustain the presence of that artist, right? It's cool. It's vibing. Brother is dope with it. Like he's been doing other projects, Afrofuturistic style, like mind blowing. I even wonder what he's using. But in this case, there are some concerns that we should be concerned about in terms of the likeness. We should be concerned about in terms of where it could be going, because we are artists. And when the point was just brought up about the band, that's one of the reasons why I want to take my catalog down, because this is what they've been doing. Not only is Spotify reaching out to actual artists, paying them a very small amount to create a song that they now own rights to.
Them being the Spotify owns rights to.
Right. And so they're intricately placed in these playlists to reap all of these streams. So who profits? Spotify, right? It's the same thing with the AI generated music. It's AI generated, and who profits from it? Spotify. So I say that to say, when you're thinking about artists like myself, Symbolic, is any of your catalog on Spotify?
Yeah, only one album. Well, and
Yeah.
a song here or there. Which
Here
that
or
means if they decide to train, they can have a likeness of my flow, my voice.
Yep.
And to me,
Yep.
that is to say that there's no problem that is to reveal that you're from the same, to use the term, lineage of the enslavers.
Oh
Of
man,
the
wait a minute.
Yeah, I said it. And I believe it. I'm saying that if you're willing to say that you're
I'm
going
gonna
to
even say it doesn't even have to be. It is that lineage, but I'm gonna say that it's even worse than you think, because when I tell you this, the CEO from Spotify is taking his money and investing in weapons manufacturing.
Yeah, this is why, that was
Of
the real
course.
reason why. Yeah, I wanted to pull my catalog. It was that
Uh,
on top of, okay, so you're killing women and children, innocent human beings, and I'm paying for it
I didn't
as an
know about
artist
My
that.
art,
two
with my
times
art.
over?
You're paying with it with
No,
my
for
art.
real.
Yeah.
With good art. I mean, I ain't patting myself on the back, but I am. The reality of it is, eh, okay, so this was a conversation we've had offline. Artist subjective. I don't like to judge people's art. When you think about those artists who get millions of streams, not all of them, this is the isolated conversation. You're thinking about still, you're taking that money, the money that you're paying yourself, the money that you're taking from me, Symbolic, and everybody, other artists who are out here on some real deal artistry rather, and you're funding war. It's almost as if, no, it is, if I remain, I'm complicit.
And if
It's
I
it's
could,
just the conversation, yeah. The conversation we just had about the platforms. It's like, so you're still on though. You're
true,
complicit.
true. Think of
What do
X,
we do?
why we rebuilt here or rebuilding here. We were on X that was purchased. Again, I'm saying it's a signature move. And so it's not surprising to me that someone who would say, your entire likeness, your digital persona, I'm willing to, your artistry, your work, I'm willing to take that and cut you out of it. Screw if you starve and your family starves or what, even though I'm wanting to make money intergenerationally, I don't care about you. To me, that's not a big leap. Some of these things are not a big leap to me. And so, okay, if you're that type of person, who was that type of person back in the days? Best believe they're the ones that will drop a bomb on you because, let's say, China, where they were saying, we have the right to sell your people opium. And if you have anything to say about it, we're gonna bomb your cities. This is history. So to me, it's not like, oh, that's out of character. It's like, yeah, that checks out.
No, for real talk. I mean, so here's what's the solution? Because I know we have so much to talk about. What's the solution? Like, here's the thing. Remember, I said I'm dropping 999. I am going to release it streaming because I have a plan, a sneaky plan. But otherwise, royalty will be on vinyl. I'm going to tour. Like, these are the things that we're going to have conversations about media that we own and Symbolic. We've talked about this, right? Media that we own that we can be the distributor. Like, we need to get in our Master P bag, like out the trunk, real talk, setting up on a corner, singing, playing, producing, like MPK and all, performing, like, yo, buy my album, like I'm dope. You know,
Yeah.
that's what we're
And
gonna have to do.
and then what we need to get out of this ultra individualistic, I'm so about me. I remember KRS-One came to Toronto. He said something that I will always remember. And what he said is as important as the rapper uh is his boy who says, "My boy's dope. My boy's dope." It makes me think of of lawyers. You know, even if you're a lawyer, it's better to have someone else saying, you're in this person's innocent. And similarly, just inflating in a world where everyone's about their stuff. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have to be about your stuff because you're going to be in this world. You got to count on yourself first. But we need to build a culture of sharing and bigging up what our people are doing. So I think the way that I've seen it, I've started to move where, for example, and it's such an irony that it's on social media platforms. So let's say if you're following me, you'll see that I'm sharing when, oh, someone that I know or don't know, but especially I know you're doing this and that, especially if it's positive. I have to exit out if it's not, if I see it as destructive. I just can't share that knowing the situation we're in. But knowing that someone's doing good work that's amplifying, positive, building, we need to push that because they've somehow taken out of our hands and confused our notion of culture.
Can I just say one thing real quick? Shout out to Symbolic for being the sharer. I have had folks follow me because bro be putting my music on blast. Shout out to why can't we do the
Hey,
hand clap? Yay! What
hey,
wait,
that's
Ivy,
good
you
to
were supposed
hear.
to no,
Some
seriously, you were supposed to do the hand, you were supposed to do some kind of like
who,
sound
who?
effect right there, Ivy.
Yeah,
Like
it's
Oh,
man, because I got the board, I got the I got my NPC and everything, but like because
you
I got
got
the
it hooked
headset
up?
on, because it's a headset, because the headset connect to the audio and video. Because when I do my mic, it sounds weird. Like
It
be clipping it.
does.
Yeah, so it's like I can't connect the NPC to the headset. I don't think.
Darn it. Where's the dog? The dog can't do it. Oh.
The dog.
But no, shout out to Symbolic for doing that. And we need to get back to that for sure. And we'll talk about that in another day in space and time about the individual, the hyper individuality, which is not genuine to our culture at all. But we'll talk about that another time because, we must move on.
but it does talk to what we're saying. So
For
let
sure.
me just look at it and say it out loud because we're saying music, culture, and lineage. And when you go
Lineage.
back to our culture, I think that that lineage, it's like who's benefiting? How do we see it? Because the lineage says what frame of mind? Like, is it even the culture? So if someone's able to take what it looks like, the moves look like, it sounds like, and then say this is a product, is that the culture? I argue no. The culture has, if you ask me, for our people, it must go back to us being healthy, back to the continent and wherever we've gone, and has to do with us becoming balanced and healthy. And so people can have all their ideas, but I'm just like, you know what? I thought about it for a number of years. I was telling Ivy Produce today about my a mentor friend of mine sent me a message today, which was beautiful. He said, "Hey, 20 years ago you came to mine and my wife's wedding." And thank you. We'll always remember that. And I'm like, God damn, 20 years. So my point being is I've been around for a minute and doing hip hop and African cultural things and to see where things are swayed to the point where we're confused about what culture um is is a shame. And going to what Rachanis was mentioning is we really need to be thinking about and implementing solutions. And I believe we can. That's the good news. I really do believe we can because hip hop is an example of that. With hip hop, they were like, that's not culture, that's not music, that has no value. All of that until now, the biggest AGO, the Art Gallery of Ontario, is trying to like sneak little bits of hip hop and throw it in their gallery to get people talking about it. So that should tell us something. But as we move this time, we need to build in a way knowing some of those moves. That's all I'll say on that.
No,
Nah, that's
it's real.
yeah, straight up. Cause like, oh wait, am I muted? Oh no, I'm not muted.
You're
No,
good.
we can
Okay.
hear you.
Oh yeah, I couldn't see my little circle thing. Uh, but like, all we can do through time is learn. You know what I'm saying? Like today, right? Like there's artists right now that are getting put in bad deals that are not able to leverage or articulate their value, right? But tomorrow, based off of the experiences of the artists that have today, there'll be more knowledge, right? Every day we have access to more information than we did the previous day. And so like the most promising thing about our situation is that with time we can get better. And so I think that it just has we have to have an intention to with time get better and to grow our own ecosystem instead of continuously going back into other ecosystems. Like we need to start to okay, there's a X race store here in the black community. We need to create a black store that does that same kind of thing. And then the black people go and shop at that store instead of at the X store, whatever race they are. Instead of shopping at that store, the black people should be shopping, or let's not even say it that way. Let's just say that the race of a people, right, that are majority of a community should shop at the stores that are owned by the people from within their community. I think that that's not really a terrible thing to say, right? And so like We should do that with all we should do that with all of our things. We should have an infrastructure for ourselves. We have to, but it's in some cases it's very difficult to do those things. So it's just like, in some cases it's easier than others, but like, I see you're trying to make it a face or whatever, but like it's like secondary markets, like insurance companies, insurance branches. Like imagine for a second that if in all the hoods everybody had life insurance, where the murder rates are at, if everybody in those places had health insurance or life insurance, my bad, I guarantee you there will be a more concerted effort to stop the violence. Because if insurance companies are having to continuously pay, they're either gonna change their policy or they're gonna change the policies in the governments.
Okay. I sold insurance for 15 years. We have to talk about this on a future show
Hmm.
because it's why I left the industry. Your point about education is key. We can build that infrastructure, but as Symbolic mentioned, when we think about culture, we have to think about origin. And if we can't push out its values. We talked about this a little bit. It's values. Just because I have a store and I'm Black does not mean that I value the same things that should be on a collective. It's values.
That's
So
facts.
if
That's true.
you come to my store, I'm Black, you expecting what? Some special treatment? No, I'm about to hike the prices up. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We have to level the values. We have to say, okay, this is what is good and true for us, by us. And that goes back to the collective comment. Like it really does, it's steep deep, no pun intended, because I love tea. It's steep deep in original culture, right? What we've known to transform throughout the ages. So I just wanted to add that to your comment, Ivy, because it's serious. Like, yeah, we can do these things, but until we root education and until we not even, I mean, we're on a talk show, right?
yeah,
And talk is what it is, but at a point there has to be action. And this is why I
absolutely.
said like solution based. What are those solutions? Well, you can only strategize if you understand, like deeply understand the problem. And most people don't. Most people don't really deeply understand the problem. We're not gonna get into semantics, but the reality of it is we have many problems. And we can talk about those problems until we can't talk about it anymore. We have to start talking about solutions and being solution oriented. We have to come together on values. Nothing else
Absolutely.
is going to work.
I think that we're never gonna have the infrastructure that we need to have in order to be able to do the things we want to do if we don't start to build the infrastructure.
For real. Like at least lay some gravel. Like what we doing? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. I feel you. I mean, it's what this show I believe represents. This is straight knowledge, right? Unfiltered. This is family. We're artists. It's solution oriented. Okay, so we can talk about these things, but then we're all going out chipping away at our own place in the universe, right? Making things better. Um, are we using the tools in our toolkit? Of course. We playing the game. You got to play to win. On the same token, we're very aware of what the nuances are. And we're very aware of what we need to do better and or different because we are who we are. We've always been who we are. So I love these conversations for so many reasons. Primarily, it's going to come back to, like I said, education, and that we have to build on values. We have
Hmm.
to. We have to.
And I want to
No
give a
other way.
shout out. I want to give a shout out right here. I want to get up and show this is a rites of passage group that went
Nice.
through one of many, yeah, that are now in this area in Toronto. When you talk about the values, I think a lot of people think that if I make a whole lot of money, then that's what fixes the problem for me. And so that is a big part of the problem, right? You can make money destroying community, destroying the planet, destroying the future. But when you have the values that you talked about, And I also think that's a really, really good segue. We got Dr. Brother Ronaldo Anderson
Dr. A in the house.
in the house. We didn't know if the Dakar conference was going to be happening right now because there was some talk on the back channels and so forth. But since it's not happening now, we can't go live right now. But
Yeah.
what we can do is talk about the vision and what is taking place, which I am very excited. Unfortunately, I guess it's clear I'm not going to Dakar at this point in time, but I look forward to future conferences like this. As far as this one, it's a BSAM, Black Speculative Arts Movement. I think to me that's the inspiration because sometimes you can get in these conversations and it can really be a drain of energy. If it's not about the solutions, or if it's people who are like angrily just thinking of just mad because the world is kind of a mess, but I think that truly we are a blessed and supernaturally powerful or really naturally powerful people. We can and have proven that to have influence in the world. So when people like Brother Elder Ronaldo Anderson and the whole movement of people who are get collecting are coming together, I think that it's an inspiration. So yeah, I wanted to have a word about what's going to be happening in Dakar and maybe about what BSAM is.
Okay, thanks, man, for the intro. The Dakar meeting is going to be bringing together three vital intellectual strains of Black thought in one space on the continent. At one time, is bringing together contemporary Afrofuturism, contemporary Pan-Africanism, and contemporary Afrocentricity. Um, People from all four continents on both sides of the Atlantic, North and South America, Africa, and Europe. Uh, we're going to be talking to each other, not through the filter of CNN or the BBC or French TV or whatever. It's a part of the vibe that's going on in the Black world right now towards self-determination, sovereignty, and some type of solidarity and political unity in the face of these multiple crises that are coming up on us pretty fast. Um, and so I think that's why the excitement is slowly starting to build and is coming together. Um, what I like about the best part about it is we're paying for it out of our own pockets. Like I always tell people, can't expect other people to financial liberation. You know, that's why when I always hear, I've been in this thing long enough. When I hear people talk, oh, liberation, this, that, and that, okay, who's paying for it? And then you look behind the scenes, they getting a grant from the government or from some benefactor who's not us. I'm like, bro, that's not liberation, man. You know, I mean, Lincoln University was started by paychecks of Black soldiers who couldn't read or write, but they were planting seeds for trees they knew they'd never sit under, you know, and they knew that after they won the Civil War that their children or their seed was going to have to be educated. And so, you know, so they took their last mustering out pay to get that going. And so we're, you know, through our registration and all this, we're paying this for ourselves over 3 days. We're going to deal with artists, writers, creatives, some elected officials. I think there's one cat that's running to be the president of his country that's going to be one of the speakers. And so talking about Black and African futures. And so, yeah, it's going to be the first of its kind like this on the African continent to take place. And it's really, see, my thing is I like playing offense instead of defense. I don't sit around worrying about what Donald Trump does. I'm talking about what I'm doing, you know. And if we start pressing in these kind of directions, man, you're too busy to worry about what some old man that's gonna be dead in a few more days is gonna do anyway, you know? He's not going into the future. You know, at best, he got maybe a few more years where he might be in his right mind, maybe. And so, you know, we shouldn't be focusing on him. And so it's all coming together, you know, in terms of in unexpected places of people that are supporting and showing up, and there'll be some surprises, I think, at the last minute from what I'm hearing, um, that I guess we'll announce when we get closer to the event.
Hey,
And so, yeah,
your
and
lighting got a little bit better for a second there.
yeah,
Anyways, whichever way you're comfortable, whichever way you're
yeah, okay.
comfortable.
I'll,
But
I'll I'll ask the person to leave the light on in the kitchen there so
oh,
people
is
more people
that?
can see it.
I see.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Leave that on.
yeah. So
Wow.
no, but it's gonna be one of the scholars that's attending thinks this is gonna be a historic occasion that people are gonna be writing about. And so, but you know, when you're doing the work, pulling it together, you're not thinking about it like that. You're just trying to, you know, push the rock up the hill, you know, and then move on to the next objective.
What's the date?
It's going to be September the 12th through the 15th. We're going to have days of film screening, performances, and thought, and we're going to close it with a pilgrimage to Gory Island, which was kind of like the last soil that a lot of our ancestors saw before they were sent off into the West.
Oh, that's gonna be amazing.
Mhm.
I gotta figure out
Mhm.
how to. BSAM conferences, we were privy to do one in Houston, which was small scale years ago. But BSAM International is a whole nother level. I am looking forward to it. I
Mhm.
really am. Like, I wish I could come this year. Man, that's gonna be
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. We're already talking about next year doing something in Europe or in something in South America or the Caribbean next
Yeah,
year
yeah,
to keep it, you know, just keep growing, keep moving.
for sure.
And new faces are starting to emerge. And yeah, so it's all moving in the right direction. The scholarship, the art, and everything. So
Very good.
I want to ask you, you had mentioned Afrofuturism, three disciplines. Afrofuturism, what was the second? I got Afrocentricity
and Pan
and
Africanism.
oh, okay, okay, very important. Okay, on that
And
note, uh-huh.
and I always tell people, you can't do Afrofuturism without Afrocentricity. That's like peanut butter and jelly. Uh, you know, Afrofuturism with all its various elements, whereas Afrocentricity tells us why we're doing it, you know, in terms of the agency of people of African descent and and from what location they're doing the work from. So it gives them Afrocentricity provides them the reason, rationale, and platform of why they're doing it. And Afrofuturism is the vision that takes off from the platform. And Pan-Africanism is a political framework, or I call it foreign policy for Black folks. You know, so
When I
yeah,
think when I think of that Pan-Africanism, I also think of how it tells us who we are because we've been so confused as to I'm in a different place. Even here in Canada, we are detached from Quebec and the French us in the English speaking. Like so I'm glad you mentioned that as a political and maybe if you could say a few words to it. I'd love it also if
oh
you know,
man.
everyone could if you have any questions. I know we're not going to keep you for too long, but I'd love to hear any questions from anyone else. I don't know if Black Simon is here, but sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. When the French thing comes in, like I always tell people, I always tell a lot of French speakers, the French people have always felt a certain kind of way ever since Napoleon. You know, they are the French speaking people, there's always been an artificial thing that goes back to European arguments but I don't see any problems with an African descent French speaker or Haitian or whatever. I'm just saying we came over on different ships, picked different crops, sugar versus cotton. And a lot of the things that people try to foment are just largely artificial things that serve the interest of certain capitalist elites and keep up this concept, what they call the diaspora wars, you know, which, you know, in European philosophy, you know, that's how they got control, even though they're the few, is divide and conquer. And so the, yeah, you know, so that's why, I mean, when I went to Montreal a few years ago, man, I did not know so many black folks lived in Montreal. I always thought that Toronto carried that weight, but I was like, oh, Montreal is,
Yeah.
is doing it. And
French
so,
and all. Like, yeah.
yeah, but the problem
Haiti,
is,
we gotta, if you think Haiti, then you know that they're seriously building.
yeah, and then the other thing is why Pan-Africanism makes sense. The people from the Indian subcontinent, no matter where they are, I don't care if they're in Trinidad or Canada or whatever, find a way to do stuff. And so I think some of it's educational, as I heard Rashana talk about earlier, is the educational piece. And that, and then even people, whether they're from people, Americans that have close ties to Israel. You know, each of these groups have um, observances that they do that remind them, no matter where in the world they are, where their roots are. You know, and that is why education is the thing that people fight over the most, because not only do the the education budget's always the largest budget in any municipality because of all of the services attached to it. It's also the part where, you know, where you indoctrinate people. And so those are always going to be the hardest fights, you know. And so, you know, and then until people get serious, like, hey, I always tell my kids, look, when you go to school, that's just some place you get a certain skill set to deal with other people, but your education starts here at home, you know. So, you know, those people at the school, they not family, and they are based upon an industrial model to perform a certain type of task. And until um, we get rid of the philosophy thinking that, you know, we can't be great unless we sit by people who despise us, we're not going to move as far along as we need to. And so, yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, I've got. You call me an elder now, man. Shoot, I ain't got. You know, I'm not biting my tongue anymore, man. I've taught too long, seen too much, and you know, and it's time to just speak facts. And the current administration is making that real easy.
Mm.
Yeah, so you know, it was something interesting you mentioned about how certain people, you know, kind of have ties to Israel. Another one of the topics that we actually were talking about was that interestingly, an AI system, Grok, has done lots of crazy things on Twitter. But this particular crazy thing got it suspended off the platform.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing that got it suspended off of the platform was it essentially confirming that a specific country that starts with the I is committing a certain crime against humanity that starts with a G and rhymes with cyanide.
We
Uh,
playing Mad Libs in this boy.
Here, see
yeah,
how they have us?
I don't know what the
See?
rules are on Twitch about these types of things, but you know, I ain't trying to get nobody got.
well,
So,
That part.
you want to know the thread that ties them together is the word settler.
yes,
That is the key word. Look,
absolutely. That's a bar right there.
America is a settler nation state. The Afrikaners that trying to flee Africa, they are settlers. And they even call themselves settlers on the West Bank. See, the settlers always identify each other, and that's the giveaway right there. That settler means you're not from there. You know, they over there doing some kind of religious cosplay, you know, trying to keep people confused. And settlers are always violent towards the native peoples everywhere. in the world. And that's what I think the consciousness is aware that, yeah, I'm glad South Africa is doing what they're doing,
Mm.
taking them to the international court. And they're in a bad way when, Germany, who did so much madness in World War II, is turned on them. And, in terms of ain't with them, and the French and English or whatever, talking about, hey, the Palestinians need their state, man. They running out of friends.
In Canada,
And
add Canada to that list.
yeah, in Canada. And so, and I put the post on my Facebook page. I said, America is alone, but black people are. Shoot, we ain't got to go down with these people, So,
That
you
part.
know,
Mm-hmm.
and in
Shoot.
America, only half the American country is even with them now. Half of them is not even with them, but these Christian nationalists are, whatever, or these
Which is
Christian,
insane.
oh man, well, they crazy, so,
It gotta be.
uh, so yeah, but all of the threads they are settlers, and that's the common politics they have, settlers.
And one thing,
And
if I could say, while you're talking, because you're talking about the AI and we are earlier talking about the technology, that's the part I'm wary and cautious and concerned about. Because we look at the tech and say, oh, wow, it can do this, it feeds all this in, but they have the ability to tweak it. And, well, in this case, it said, they're tweaking it towards the right and this and that. But again, and going to what Rashanis had mentioned earlier, um, if we don't create it, and if it does, I would say if it doesn't have the values that us in a healthy state with conferences like these and moving collectively in time, how that we imbue into
well, think
these
about it like this.
things.
While I'm talking, Google this term while I'm talking to you, futurizing Fanon, and see what pops up.
Oh
Say it again.
wow.
Futurizing Fanon and see what pops up. Um, Now, as far as AI, one of the things that I look at, because I'm working through an AI certification now, they got two things you got to pay attention to is the hallucination, because the
Yep.
AI is trying to please you to do the task.
Yes.
And then the more important element is the concept human in the loop.
Yes.
Now, from an Afrofuturist, Afrocentric perspective, what I call it, I don't use human in the loop. I call it my ancestral intelligence is interacting with the artificial intelligence, and I'm using my agency to guard against hallucinations, and so that's the part where I think where how we should engage it properly as a tool, but the human in the loop part is probably the most important part, and so
Mm.
you're still going to have a degree of literacy, mental health, and some other things that will determine how effective it would be. Now, when you pulled up Futurizing Fanon, what did the AI overlay Google tell you? Because I know most people got it. What is it?
Oh, I
Some
don't have it. I don't have the I didn't do it on Google, but let's try. Let's see.
I could say I first did futurizing Fanon, I say, but and it came up with some other stuff, so I added Franz Fanon, but I don't know if that's correctly
What-
exercising the.
But what did it say? Did it talk about Afrofuturism and some other stuff that pop up with it on the
Nah, I'm seeing
Futurizing Fanon?
fan lore, like it's assuming you're not Fanon or double. It's N-O-N.
Yeah, Fanon.
It's like
Mm.
fandom, future fandom. What kind of K-pop fandom? What kind of
Okay,
fandom do you?
so okay, you must not have an AI overlay with that.
So
Um,
mine just did likely
uh-huh.
refers to a conference or event, Future Waves,
There you
Afrofuturism
go.
2.0, and the world, focusing on exploring Frantz Fanon's revolutionary theories within the context of Afrofuturism 2.0. Specifically, it
Yeah.
examines how Fanon's critique of colonialism, race, and identity can be reimagined through speculative futures, digital innovation, and cultural resilience.
So
This
the
event will
AI,
be happen. Yeah, this is the
and
event.
so the AI is already on it. So just
Wow.
us getting ready to have it has what produced some new knowledge, because that idea did not exist prior to us creating it. And so
Wow.
yeah, so the AI is on top of it, and so we've created already, just having the ideas that we put out there. We put a new theoretical framework out there that had not been out there before. So, so yeah, man, it's happening rapidly. And that's why one of the things where my ancestral intelligence comes in, where I know what to say. People keep forgetting, like, when these young people were out here rallying for Hamas, when I was young, Hamas were just considered some ethno-nationalist, anti-black people. It was the black people. They keep saying, well, we were with the Palestinians. Yeah, that was with the Palestinian Liberation Organization, PLO, and Yasser Arafat. That were the revolutionaries. Hamas were never revolutionaries. And the PLO were the people that the Black Panthers and all them were down with. Okay, a lot of some of the other people that are in Palestine helped get Yasser Arafat murdered, and so that's why I had to get some of these young cats straight. I was like, so I said, I'm not against the Palestinians, but y'all got more tears for people over there than you do for the people in Sudan
Doc
or
said
whatever.
it, and I'm
And and
glad.
and ain't got nothing to say. Or I had to crash in on this one brother who was an Arab. He was over there trying to lecture me. He didn't know who I was. I'm like, look, the UAE is one of the biggest disruptors in Africa, buying up property and financing genocide in Sudan at the moment. Which is why I crash out and make mockery of people, all these Negroes I know that's trying to fly over to Dubai to hang out with those people. I mean, truth be told, shoot, the Arabs people over there didn't get rid of slavery until the 60s over there. And so I always come from the John Henry Clark position. We don't owe nobody nothing but some ass whoopings. So,
Hey,
Mm.
hey,
so when people
Professor.
come asking, so when they sell it, we need to be marching, whatever. I was like, nah, bro, we don't owe nobody nothing but some ass whoopings,
Mm.
from different parts of the world. So, but see, the left are more untrust. See, the right lets you know where you stand with them. They don't like you, different
For
values. The
sure.
left pretends to be your friend, but they just want, and that's where they are the ones, the real vampires we let in the door because they like using black people so they can scale up their politics and look like they're diverse.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh, say
And
that,
so,
please. People
so
get
I'm like,
offended when they hear the truth.
oh yeah, man. So that's why they go and get some little bright and shiny Negro with shea butter and give them some phrases to say to make them sound smart. And I'm like, what Karl Marx Lenin gonna tell me that Harriet Tubman couldn't say, you know,
Mm.
so I'm supposed to take Karl Marx, who just wrote some shit, over Harriet Tubman, who did some shit,
Yeah,
and so, but that comes from lack of knowledge, and people don't know. And then you gotta, sometimes you gotta play the game. Negro gotta act like you down with some shit just to get a job,
that part. I mean, it's the
Yeah.
ideology we talked about a little bit last week, and how far-fetched a lot of this ideology is in the literal sense of the word. Like,
Mhm.
it's until we change the way, until we instill and insist that education is value created, we'll continue to consume a bunch of foolishness. And it's why,
Mhm.
I mean, God said some things to me years ago that I'm still holding on to this day. Like, yeah, Tiff, you got to lay that behind, sweets. Like,
Yeah.
it's not, they're not going to
Yeah.
make it. You're going to have to do these things, and uh, wisdom always prevails. All you got to do
Mhm.
is listen. You pay attention to things.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just didn't want to believe it, but you believe until you know. And that's where
Yeah.
we are now. Like, we see it's right in our face, whether
Mhm.
we've been warned or are still doing the warning. We really
Yeah.
should be focusing on solutions. That's it. That's
Yeah.
it.
That's what. See, the thing is, the thing is, you got to understand that the MAGA type people enjoy black psychic pain. They get a
All
thrill off
day.
of that. They get a thrill off of that, even though their lives are shit, a lot of them, and their grandmama gonna die on the highway because they ain't got to, since they shutting down the rural hospital, so grandmama gonna die before they get to the hospital. But as long as he can kick some
Oh
black people in
man.
the pants, they happy, even though their grandmama gonna die without Medicaid and whatever. So they gonna end up
They don't
reaping it,
care.
And so my thing is the language we use. Like I was talking to some younger cat today, I was like, I don't use words like, ooh, we need diversity and all that. No, the other side says culture war. They tell you what there's where there's so and what did we and we get left people using left wing term like, oh, we need to do with intersectionality. No, you need to punch somebody in the mouth, and say, no, okay, you want a war, you're gonna get a war, and this is how it's gonna go down. You gonna lose some, I'm gonna lose some. Now, if you want to go back and forth, but you know what I'm saying? Because MAGA is not bigger than the Black Atlantic. Because shoot, I'm like, because I know how our history works. You get Black Americans rumbling. I know the Jamaicans coming and the some Africans coming, whatever. They ain't bigger than the Black Atlantic, which is why they work day and night to keep the diaspora war stuff going in the algorithms, and to keep us not focused on who the real enemy is. And those people are enemies, MAGA, Christian nationalists. And see, I talk to them just like this, y'all enemies. We whooped that ass in the Civil War. We're gonna beat it down again. Ain't gonna be no, we gonna make up and shake hands. Y'all are flat out enemies. And as they say in martial arts, until you knock the bottom out of an enemy, you have not defeated them. So
Wow.
and that's why the next time the stuff goes is until there's a resolution and we knock the bottom out of them, we don't need to stop.
Yeah.
And so we got to keep the little old shiny shea butter, whatever people that they stick out of there with a grant for speaking for us. And so yeah, it's going. But don't worry, we're gonna come out on the other side, a leaner and meaner entity on the other side of this struggle. And the
That's for
people
sure.
that's weak better do extra push-ups and get stronger.
That's what we're talking about. I mean, it's solutions. It's
Yeah,
solutions. We are
yeah. If
here
you're weak,
to
get stronger.
imagine. Yeah, for
Yeah, if
sure.
you're weak, get stronger.
For
And then
sure.
when I hear these people, well, I ain't got the money. Oh, what do you mean you have the money? Oh, get rid of your streaming services. You don't need
Oh
all that.
man.
You don't really need a cell phone to get one of them cheap little phones for about $10. That's enough.
Oh man.
You don't need streaming services. You don't need. I'm just saying.
IB,
Hell,
what are you thinking?
He like,
You
oh
can't,
man,
IB
get
can't
rid of
part
my
with his tech.
toys.
It's on his face.
Uh
oh yeah, the toys. Yeah, but I mean, because you can't afford all the stuff to survive and win the war because you want to hold on to toys.
oh
Which
man.
is,
I felt attacked.
and here's the thing. We know that's the trick. It is what it is. Shiny carrot. It's that trick. But Doc is right. It's the consumerism. We have means. That's why I've been struggling being back here in America. Like I've only been back 3 weeks, and we eat clean.
Yeah,
I spent hundreds of dollars, whereas you have to think hundreds of dollars would have been my whole month budget in Colombia. You
yeah.
know, like it, and just thinking about,
To
and we're
eat
eating
clean.
garbage,
Sorry to interrupt. To
clean,
eat clean. Right,
clean with
right.
a seed. I mean, fresh, just bueno. No,
Mm.
here, no. My son's face it's already puffy. That's the inflammation. I've had the worst stomach pain. So we're just talking about basic necessities. Yeah, if we start carving away at excess and really uniting over values, yeah, we move
Oh
the
man, they
needle.
get shook. I mean, the only reason they have excess is because we're allowing it.
That
Yeah.
part.
Mm-hmm.
People, we fight over public education. Hey, someone sacrificed their time in the family, start a pod, start your own independent school. All you need is some books and some other stuff. The school is really the teacher, the student, and some books, not all the other stuff that comes along with it.
So
You
you
know?
know what they just dropped, which is I just heard about this yesterday. I was on the road. We were just talking about this here in Texas, being Teja. They are rolling it out, and of course it's coming down from that administration. But yeah, I've been saying this for years. Pull your baby out. Pull your
Yeah,
baby out. Give them to me. I
that's
have a
right.
whole literacy lab over here. Like
The money follows the kid. And see what the white nationalists want to do. They want to take their kids and make them and send them to them little Christian nationalist schools.
well, they turn into schools into every single classroom has to have the 10 commandments displayed. No more DEI, no more LGBT clubs. You can't come to school dressed like an animal, no cell phones. They are
And see,
removing some
Wait,
additives.
back up. What do you mean dressed like an animal? What is that
Apparently,
about?
that's a thing. The kids are coming to school. They have been identifying as an animal.
Like a
So they
furry?
will, yes, it's called, for heaven's sake, the law is called the Furry Act. Because these kids, no lie. I mean, buffoonery at its highest. I just heard about it. I heard about it only because a brother of mine from home, Detroit, hit me and said, Tiff, they've been putting these drug-laced patches on kids to get them to go to sleep, preschoolers.
Yeah.
And the kids were coming home lethargic and couldn't eat, and I've worn a patch. I've actually been paid to do some trial testing, wore one, and that was that. These children are wearing these patches. Parents were not aware. And the conversation was before long, they're going to be giving our kids opioids. So what we've been talking about is it's that same Dr. Anderson conversation. You see it 2 decades ago, 3 decades ago,
Yeah.
but you crazy. What you talking about, Tiff? You crazy. What you talking about? I'm like, pull your kids out. Pull your kids out. Like, shut it. It has to collapse if we don't participate. It's going to
That's right.
collapse.
It has to.
So, yeah. So now what's happening now? Now your baby is going to be in a classroom with the 10 commandments, whether you are a Christian, whether you're a Muslim, it doesn't matter.
And because they ain't got nobody stand up like I tell Christian nationals, your white Jesus can kiss my ass
That part.
or whatever.
Mhm.
Until they stand up and say that, coming out of that August Wilson play, I forget which movie that was in, said, your Jesus didn't say, I'd be like, until we get up, and even the real black, I raised my kids to say that black Christians are not the same as the whites.
For
We got
sure.
a different religion. Our religion comes out of the freedom struggle and descended from
It's out of our
enslaved
soul.
Africans.
Yeah.
They are not us. And people are like, oh no, no, they're not. See, those people, the Christians, they are settler Christians.
Mm.
They are and a settler Christian is different from a black Christian. The settler Christians massacred Indians, the same people that fed them when they were starving, gave them blankets. A settler Christian is a unique person of European descent that has no consistent values and created a nation based on genocide. And so until I told a friend, and even some of my I have preacher friends, until the black preachers get up and say we really got a different theology, but too many of them, because they want to be able to go get their shea butter and stuff and be like, we all brothers and sisters or whatever. No, we not. We need to come out and say we got our own theology that's distinct from them. Them are not us. And it goes back to what Shauna said about values.
It does. I gotta stop laughing. What is it called when you mistakenly, or maybe on purpose, when you actually are supposed to be sad but you laugh? There's a psychological term for it. I'm laughing because it's just that ridiculous. It's just that, and it comes back to culture and origin. Like we
Yeah.
have been bamboozled, hoodwinked.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's coming to light now, and
Well,
it's
that's
just
why Trump is he like Malcolm said, all that integration was like Novocaine, so we couldn't feel the pain.
yeah, for sure.
All them programs, but yeah, he got rid of all them programs. That was the Novocaine. So now people out there, they can feel the pain now.
I mean,
And
but that's to your point. It's just, it's the removal of DEI, which we alluded to a little bit last week. That was never for us. That was for y'all. So when we think
Mhm.
about some of these concepts, the ideologies behind them, it's like, okay, so this is still pointing at a singular thought leadership. When it's not I don't qualify it as thought leadership, but
yeah,
blindly following it. And it's that instead of being proactive, we end up being reactive. We can't get ahead that way. So we have to act on solutions, and we have to share that in these common spaces like we're doing. I mean, that's what
But
we
I
talked
always
about.
tell the brothers, you know what? At 60 plus years old, my forehead still looks smooth and all, because I didn't ever give a fuck about them people. Okay, I don't lose no sleep over 'em. I
That
don't.
part.
That's what I'm saying. When they ask why, that's why black don't crack. I do not lose sleep over those people at all. When they talk about, they try to wash our face with the MLK stuff. The people ain't never been right, And so I just live my life knowing that they are not allies. There's a few of them because I love my John Browns and all, but they few and outnumbered in their own community.
Yeah.
But that's why some of my friends that are PhDs that lay up on couches and councils don't understand why. It's always been white supremacy. And so
Yeah.
that's why I've never lost sleep over or stress about these people. I've raised my kids to understand, like, it's real simple, like off the Boondocks. God is black, Jesus was black, and so is
Ronald
the
Reagan was
devil.
the devil.
Well, now it's Donald Trump is the devil.
Yeah, basically.
So, so I mean, so it's because racism is not our problem. That's their problem. And so I don't make their problems my problem.
Yeah.
See, when we make other people's problems our own, that's why we losing sleep.
Real
You
talk.
know, and so their deficiencies as human beings are not mine. You
Mm.
know, and so that we
So
need to,
Your
yeah,
failures are your own.
yeah.
So we went through a number of things. I'm just trying to get back to this original document around music. We touched on that, culture, lineage. I think all of this touches on that.
For
Coming
sure.
coming back to solutions. And I'd like to play a commemoration that I've done, but before we do that, that we created for someone who's about solutions here in Toronto. But before we do that, I think that this Dakar conference represents some solutions, practical, tactile, like us coming together in the physical. Could you give us a rundown, the information about that one more time? Brother.
Oh, the Dakar Conference, we are commemorating the 100th anniversary of Frantz Fanon. And basically, we want to take a look, what does his ideas look like in the 21st century, and if we futurized them? His most famous books are like The Wretched of the Earth, where he talks about the psychology of oppressed people. Now, Fanon believed as a psychiatrist, based upon his experience in the Algerian Revolution, that you received an emotional and psychological cleansing from slaying your enemy. Okay. He did not believe in turn the other cheek because he saw how the oppressed psychology of the Algerians changed fighting against the French forces in the wretched of the earth. And he also said, beware of the nationalistic bourgeoisie, and we got that same problem, some of the people that look like us, they want to be able, they fight each other to death so they can get invited to the White House or the big house, and so those are the two lessons you draw really from Wretched of the Earth. That you got to beware the bourgeoisie, and then you got to deal with the psychology of the oppressed. And then his other book that he had, was Black Skin, White Mask, that talks about the psychology of some of these interracial relationships, how they work against us. Um, and I think another book he had, he talks about a dying colonialism. But now we're in the midst of a dying neoliberalism. Okay. And so a dying neoliberalism with an emerging kind of techno-authoritarian fascistic um, thing that they're trying to bring in, but it's got its weak spots. And if you know where the weak spots are, you could exploit them, and it'll be like a system of dominoes falling apart. Because now you're seeing data that even some of the whites are starting to see, yeah, they messed up supporting Trump. But I'm like, you know what? Y'all still a bunch of dumbasses for voting for him. He just showed you 3 times. So I'm like, hey, fuck you forever, and your children and grandmama too. So, and we need to quit being suckers, like letting people come back. Oh, all ain't forgiven after this one. So you sleep in the bed you made. Good luck. And because I think what I'm seeing here around the world and all the places I got my fans on the pulse to, from Africa to the islands in the sea, with the big meeting they had down there in Grenada last week with the Caribbean leaders. Um, yeah, I think we're heading towards a moment. So I want Trump to keep mismanaging or whatever because he's uniting all the black people with his stuff. I want him to, if he can do another term, I might be cool with it. So,
Oh,
so,
wow.
oh yeah, because you know what? People are like, well, the Supreme Court, look, nobody said we got to obey the law. Shit, the white man don't obey the law. We worried
That's
about a
facts.
Supreme, and I've never seen a Supreme Court just to stop a revolution.
I'm
You
still
know,
looking for the sister who was magically put up. Like, where'd she go? It's just
who?
the sister that was supposed to be on the Supreme Court.
I can't think of it, but I mean, if you're in a revolutionary situation, oh, Ketanji Jackson's on the court, but I mean,
There's
yeah,
supposed to be another one?
yeah,
No, her.
Oh, yeah, Kentucky Jackson. I
Hmm.
thought
yeah.
you were talking
But
about
see,
another one.
See, the thing is, they like doing certain the media to upset us. So, like, if they even got me, if they saw the show and they tried to put a mic, well, Dr. Anderson said this, did you say? I said, yep. I said, look, if a thing is racist, I'm not gonna obey the law. So, what you gonna do? Gonna watch me 24/7? No, I'm not gonna obey that law. Well, they voted. I said, well, I got a clip with 15 votes that says no. So, it's we just need to be. I'm gonna encourage outlaw behavior. Just don't obey the law. As what another famous man said, an unjust law is no law at all. So I'm gonna act like ain't no law. And so I ain't gonna worry. Like I said, I'm not gonna be stressed.
That
You know?
reminds me of weed in Canada for the many years before it became a legal thing.
Yeah.
Heads were just like, whatever. And that's taking it on an irrelevant level, but
Yeah,
nevertheless,
no, you raise a good point. When it was illegal, we was hitting that stuff anyway.
I
So
don't smoke now so much, but
yeah, I know. I mean, I know, but no, there are see, the more that they try to repress and suppress, like now they want to steal the midterms by doing redistricting in the middle of it, which is unheard of. They're just gonna make the pendulum swing going back toward them that much worse. Because most of the wealth
mm,
and people are concentrated in blue states. And people with money, resources, whatever, don't let poor people tell them shit. And someone's gonna bring it to about like, look, you want to hear some blue people talk bad? When I saw wealthy white Americans in the East Coast at a certain setting talk bad about the people in Kentucky and all them, they looked down on them. So they said, "Man, them people don't even deserve to vote. But they from welfare states. We subsidize their bullshit. And it's just all they're gonna do is drive a wedge worse, and the country is gonna become ungovernable." So my thing is, what is our solution? How do we take advantage of an ungovernable situation? It's I'm 3, 4 generations military. Not my duty to help them save it. My thing is save my own first. And yeah, that because they're gonna come and ask us. I'm like, no, we not coming like the Tuskegee Airmen or the Buffalo Soldiers. You're on your own.
yeah. Nah, no,
And
don't participate. I have a young man, stepping into adulthood, going through rites of passage. I keep picking up rites of passage because we're talking about the culture. I think there's some of those things that the work has been done, and it's so encouraging. So sometimes people are all doom and gloom, or they only see negative and they never look for solutions. We don't want to be that.
yeah,
Another thing that I see is with music though, historically, hip hop had, I'd say big up to the reggae because you can find those cultural messages
yeah.
that resonate with the culture of how we need to move. But yeah, we can't get caught up in their nonsense. And also,
Mm.
in a generation, whether it's even a generation or whether it's young people saying I'm about it and then getting older, like I see people claiming OG where I'm like, you used to be mad respectful when back in the day. We're not talking like this is black culture anymore. That's interesting. So something around the music. That said, before we get out of here, which we're going to have to bounce super soon, we only have 5 minutes. The one we want to honor Brother Louis March, who did amazing work in Toronto throughout his life, being there for our people, having an impact on the city with zero gun violence, working to bring about more peace amongst our people as well. Though I want to close, if that's cool with y'all. I want a Rich track or an Ivy produced track before we get out of here. But let's if anyone wants to, or I guess we'll have a word after, or we'll have a word first, but we're hitting the final stretch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We about to watch your video?
Let's do it. You ready with that, Ivy?
Yeah.
Did you send the link?
It's in the chat. It's in the telegrams.
It's in the Telegram.
Oh
Oh
man, not the
man,
Telegram,
not
I
Blue.
the
know no one uses
Telegram.
Telegram.
No,
Send
Boo,
it,
no, I'm just
resend it
kidding.
on WhatsApp.
No, for real. Ivy, you know me messing with you, bro.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
messing
yeah,
with
yeah.
you with the
Get
Telegram.
your laughs in. Get your laughs in.
Ivy doesn't see it unless you put it in the Meta headset. How do I
Hey,
put it in the headset, Ivy?
that's what's up. This is
I
a
love that big
beautiful
screen
tribute.
though. I actually would
Remember
work with that.
Louis March.
Louis March.
I'll go a few words to honor our ancestor, Louis March.
Recently, community gathered to celebrate and remember Louis March and to name Louis March Park at 485 Shooter Street in Toronto. It was a beautiful and positive event with friends commemorating and those he touched in life and through his zero gun violence movement.
What his contribution was to this city and to our lives, every life he touched.
And for over 30 years, he worked to improve the lives of community, to keep them safe, to build a peaceful and a hopeful future.
Toronto is a better city because of Louis March.
Loved ones recounting their experiences and sharing the impact of Louis March's work.
Although he's gone, he lives on in every youth who walks in their purpose, in every program that changes the narrative, and every mother who knows she's not alone in the grief she's inherited.
As a Torontonian, I'm proud the city is recognizing the work of a great man who devoted himself to African descendants and to Toronto. We now have a park that bears his name, where we can enjoy our beautiful city and remember our ancestor, Louis March.
With the kids, he would have loved this for sure.
Louis March Park, meet me there. Moments that deserve to be captured. Mix It Media 360.
Mix It Media 360.
The drop on him. That
Yeah,
was so dope.
That steel pan was live. Like he was just playing. I caught that. I was freelance, by the way. So I just like try to reach out to the people. Not enough people reach back, but whatever. That like I'm saying, I'm about creating a culture where we do what we do, share, big up other things, not just ourselves. And so, it's a little bit of that, which is dope. But even there was a number of counselors, which I do believe that it's like it brings up the black cop thing for me, where you know what? I want some black cops. I've had some terrible treatment from some black cops, but if we're gonna have people in those positions and we have that position in society, I want to be able to, you have a sister, a brother, or cousins, you have a mother, and if you're acting wrong, at least that person can identify on some level. And so the mayor was actually there. She's actually a good mayor. So we'll see what can be done. But yeah, thanks for checking it out.
Oh, for sure. That was dope. That was super dope. I mean, just the footage, the brother's legacy. I mean, it's a park. That's what's up. That was super dope. Shout out
We'll meet
Symbolic.
there. When y'all come to Toronto, we'll do something. We'll go there and just, have some kind of vibe.
No, for real. I'm coming. I just got to figure out when. We got to work together on some level, a little bit more, than what we're doing now for sure. Wait.
Shawness, you're supposed to be helping me get a patch of land.
Listen, God.
So I can put a Quonset hut or something on it.
Listen, when I tell you it's on the agenda, it's on the agenda. I just been low key. You taught me well. Like,
okay,
seriously, it's on the agenda. Like, let me say this much. There's no way I'm going to be able to stay here. Yep. And that's what especially with what is coming. We're in a really good position to do some things with just half an acre. If all of us had a half acre.
Yeah.
It's over. Game over.
Good point. I want to just add to that. City land is one thing. We need some of that. The programs, the allocation of funds, we need some of that. If y'all are doing this thing, but we need our stuff proper. No one's invited unless we invite you type of stuff. So that said, true.
For sure. Seriously, it's happening. We just, the revolution won't be televised. That part. Ivy, we listening to some of your music? What we doing?
Well, we started off listening to some of my music, so I figured maybe we can throw on some Rashanis,
I mean, okay, if that's what we're gonna do. What are we listening to?
Well, you got YouTube?
Of course.
Of course she does.
Mhm.
Let's see.
I just realized I wasn't on camera. I was like, let's go.
RACH. RACH.
I did something wrong.
Yeah. Let's see. I
The
think
rest
that's
is rest right? R A
I
C
think
H A
so.
N.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh man, and this, yeah.
I think we played that last time. No, wait, no.
Which one? Which one you want to ride out
We played
with?
this last time. We played, oh yeah.
Did we do black? Did we do black?
Let's do
I
black
think
now.
black would be BLX. So it is on commodity. If you scroll down just a little bit more, so you see commodity, you see, let's see. Yeah, black. BLX.
I love me some Rashawn's beats. Rashawn's music.
Symbolic.
All right, well, this is how we're gonna ride out the show. At the end of the track, we will end the live. Appreciate everybody coming through and hanging out with us during the conversation.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you,
Hey.
Black Sun, everybody.
Hey, Rashana.
Yes.
You think you can make me
Time out. Pause.
Wait. The great doctor is
Come
speaking.
again. Pause.
I want to ask Rashana. You know, I'm like, somebody else is supposed to do it, but they slow. So I'm gonna ask Rashana if she could make a thing with my book cover. You know, I'm gonna share. You know, because my new book dropped this week. And,
Did it? The book that you were just talking about in the chat?
Yeah, Afrofuturism and World Order dropped this week.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I want to try and have I forgot, what's the word am I looking for?
Congratulations, brother.
Yeah. And how come we didn't talk about that? We need to be talking about that.
We can talk about it next week. But
All
you know what I'm saying?
right.
We're trying to put together a little an ad. Yeah.
For sure. You
Yeah.
want some music or you just want it to be clean? Okay.
Yeah, it could be just with the book cover, a little 20-30 second clip with some music with it, letting people know, you know, something clean, saying, hey, this is dropping, blah, blah, blah. I can just circulate on Instagram or wherever, you know, or TikTok.
I'm not on TikTok, but yes, I would be honored, Doc. I can do that
so
for you. I just got back.
I could upload it to TikTok or upload it to Instagram.
Yeah.
Things happen at Talk Show On Point.
They do. That they do. I love it. Absolutely, Doc. I got you. I just got back to Houston, so if you can give me like a day or two, yeah, I got you.
Oh yeah, plenty of days. You know, just some maybe just nothing. It doesn't have to be nothing fancy. Just a nice beat going with the cover, and I guess I don't know what anything else to go with it.
Maybe a summary, like a synopsis of and how I'm excited to read it because I really am.
Okay.
Real talk. I saw it. So the cover is probably in the chat.
Oh no, I mean it's on my Facebook page now. If you see it now, you can see it. It was because the guy out of Eric Steinskog out of University of Copenhagen, he said he can't wait to see it. So I guess a lot of people have been waiting on it.
Plug that name one more time. Afrofuturism
and World Order.
And World Order.
If you Google it, that's what pops up my stuff. So
great.
You know, in Ohio State Press. Yeah.
You're all gonna do the rest of it offline, but also we gotta play what you create on this show later. We gotta talk about it.
Oh, for sure. Let's do it.
And all right. So once again, Talk Show On Point, Ivy produced. Thank you for being you. Rashawn's in the house. Brother Black Simon chilling in the darkness. Actually, Ronaldo, Brother Ronaldo Anderson in the darkness as well. A little bit of the shady there, but shout outs and love. And we're gonna be back again with the action orientated. Let's run it.
For sure.
All right.
Magic.
It's like coasting through time and space.
For sure.
I like that part. Yeah,
Right there, right there. Okay.
yeah, man. Why don't you use your track and put my book with it?
Oh, for
That's
sure.
yeah.
Man, that's easy.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
All right. We will be back next week, same
Yeah.
time.
Talk show on point.
For sure.